Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome back to Tekpon. Today our guest is Oana, the CEO and co-founder at SQL.io. Hello.
Hi, Christian. Good to be here.
Great to have you on the podcast. Please tell us what your company does.
SQL.io is the only solution that allows organizations like Carta, Amazon, Salesloft, Mutiny, and so many others to host webinars directly into their own websites instead of driving their valuable traffic to other third-party platforms. It makes it so much easier for demand gen leaders to increase their demos that people are booking directly on their own websites while engaging them the best for live sessions or on demand. But also the marketing ops team's life is so much easier as well because the data is flowing directly into their CRM. There's less points of friction. And the way we like to tell people about SQL is imagine you're buying a Mac in an Apple store versus buying a Mac in a Best Buy. When you go into an Apple store to get a Mac, most likely you'll get AirPods. You're going to hear about iPhone's last features. If you
Yes.
go into a Best Buy, there's so many other companies. There's like an HP, there's a Lenovo. So obviously Apple wants you to buy MacBooks in an Apple store. And every single brand is taking the same approach digitally. They want their audiences to be in their own websites where they can offer them a lot more value, content, and persuade them to take high value actions.
I love it. You explained it great, really well. What would you say are the most loved features of the platform?
Well, first of all, it's the entire value prop is the embeddability of it. So every single marketer loves the fact that they can embed SQL in their own websites. They can host them directly in there from like registration, live session, on demand, and blog posts directly
Okay.
generate from there. Then the second one is SQL AI. SQL AI takes all your past video content, including the ones that you've done on Zoom, as well as your current ones that you're hosting with SQL, and turns them into SEO optimized blog posts in a matter of like 30 seconds.
Right.
And it can generate so many different ones based on the voice and tone. And then the last feature, the one other feature that all our customers love is the engagement features. The fact that we replicate very well the reactions for the content and audience engagement with pre-populated polls, which brings that connection to life.
Hey there, fellow marketers. Are you tired of juggling multiple platforms for meetings, webinars, and calendar bookings? It can be a nightmare just setting up a simple team meeting. But what if I told you there's a platform that is super user-friendly and can do all of this? Well, say hello to Sessions. More than just a Zoom alternative, Sessions is like having a personal assistant for all your meetings. It provides meeting notes, makes it easy to share documents and screens, distills key points for quick overviews, and makes it easy for everyone to work on one board. One reviewer raved about Sessions saying, quote, "In a world where remote work and virtual meetings are becoming the norm, Session stands out as a platform that takes video conferencing to the next level." End of the quote. Ready to give your meetings and webinars a professional edge instantly? Click the link in the show notes or head over to sessions.us today and try it out for free. That's sessions.us. Don't miss out on a platform that will soon be a leader in the meeting space, allowing you to have better online interactions. Visit sessions.us today. Now, let's get back to the episode. Right. Why should B2B companies use webinars? What's the power of webinars?
It's interesting. Before the pandemic, companies were using webinars, but they would see them more like webcasts. They were like these old school sales tactics. I was a marketer before starting SQL. I used to lead marketing for HP for about 8 years. And webinars was like, a go-to-market strategy that we would implement at HP. And I hated them because they were so old school and no one would engage and very few people would come. And about 60% of marketers would do webinars before the pandemic. Now, what happened in the pandemic, it actually pushed towards an interesting trend. I never believed in those big virtual event trade shows. I didn't believe that people after the pandemic will sit in front of their laptops for 3 days straight going at different virtual booths. But what actually pushed people to do after the pandemic is to rely on the virtual engagement for live sessions and people being able to build relationships across continents and in different geographies. As a result of that, companies have invested a lot more in webinars. And webinars could be called fireside chats, could even be these type of podcasts that we're doing together, could be product launches, group demos, and they have so many different shapes or forms that actually now marketers, about 90% of marketers are doing webinars as a main demand gen strategy. And as part of this, it's been seen by marketers the fact that webinars are a very cost-effective yet very impactful way of engaging their audiences and building more pipeline.
Right. Thanks a lot. I think it's a great value. What are the use cases of the product? Basically, who is it for?
We sell a lot into B2B marketers, and the reason for that is that B2B companies have a pretty robust website where they want their audiences to learn from. So it's a huge value for them to bring them in there and showcase their product, customer success stories, content, and call to actions. Now, our product is being used for webinars mainly, semi-live or live or on demand. But what we've seen customers recently doing is actually using our product for in-product engagement. As a matter of fact, some of our customers like Apollo, they've embedded SQL into the Apollo dashboard so that they can engage with their users, free users or paid users, while they're trying the product and bring them into group demos and showing them off the features, which is a really interesting use case. You could still call them webinars, but in a kind of a slightly different way of activating a kind of a concept to engage with their audiences. And of course, our product is being used for like major conferences as well, like Carta. We powered Carta's summit, 7,000 people, and virtual fundraising events as well. So large events as well as the recurrent ones.
And do you have a favorite success story that you can share with us?
Oh, I love all my customers equally. That said, yes, we do have some incredible kind of stories coming from our customers. And like I mentioned, every customer is using us in a slightly different way. For example, User Pilot is a customer that we love to work with. We're also their customer, so it makes this even more special. They switched from Zoom to SQL, embedded into their website for all their product launches and demand gen webinars. And in 5 months, they tripled the amount of demos they got from their webinars, which has been incredible. That's exactly what we want to hear from our customers. And another one is SalesLoft. They also transitioned from their webinar and like platform tools to us. And what I love about this one is that not only that we pushed 77% more pipeline for them from webinars, but we really cut a lot of the manual work for their marketing ops teams. They cut about like 60% of all the downloading the video, uploading files, like, database and management and sending that to the sales teams. Everything is so nicely integrated and it was so easy to do it that both the marketing ops and the demand gen teams have seen the benefit of it.
Amazing. I like how you explain it. How does the pricing work? The pricing.
Pricing. So we have a growth plan, which is basically all the bells and whistles for a company to support their webinar strategies, starting at the $550 a month for the growth plan. And then we have a business plan for customers that have Marketo and Salesforce, and they have a more kind of robust and scalable webinar strategy. And we also work with enterprise customers like Amazon and HP for much bigger kind of custom projects with them. Usually our growth and business customers are the ones that are the most popular.
Super happy for you. How about the market? How did you find this problem, and how competitive is it? How is it is for you to differentiate?
I think that we started from the beginning with just being different, not because we wanted to come into the webinars market and be different, but because we wanted to solve a pain point for marketers. And our biggest competitive advantage, I would say, is that I'm a marketer myself. I didn't build this company necessarily to kind of scale it to $1 billion. I built it first because I saw there was a pain point for marketers. I was building digital campaigns at HP, and I realized it's really hard to keep people into our website, to convert people there, and we would drive like thousands of people away to do these webinars with partners. And I started the company because I wanted to fix that problem, and there was no other way to do it unless I would Frankenstein like 5 different solutions into something that could be hosted directly in there. My co-founder used to build streaming for Microsoft, so he has the technical expertise on how to build this. And we've been building this for 4 years because it's not easy to build a solution that is integrated in someone else's environment. So we started the company with fixing a problem, and we continued that way. Even right now, our competitive advantage of being able to host directly into your own website, and every single feature that we build, we don't build it because it's hype or all kinds of other reasons, or like copying other players. We literally spend every single day so much time with marketers, understanding their pain points and building solutions for them. And I think that that's really what differentiates us from other solutions. We didn't enter the market as a webinar solution. We entered it to solve this problem for our customers, and it paid off because we really resonate with our customers, and we love seeing them grow. Some of them getting promoted because of the way they're using SQL.
Great mindset, great mindset. How big is the team right now?
We're about 15 people across the world, full-time, part-time, obviously some contractors, and we're small but mighty in a way. We are very resourceful. Every single person in my team is incredible. I wake up every morning thinking what an amazing luck I have to work with all of these people who are learning so much from each other, but also are experts in their domain.
Amazing. How about the fundraising? Yeah.
Like what stage we're at?
Yes. What was your latest funding round?
We're a Series A company based in SF. We're backed by incredible investors, Javelin Venture Partners and Struck Capital, Social Leverage, V1 VC, and we have some incredible angels on our side, the former CTO of Time Magazine, the CRO of JustWorks, and so many others that joined us in the journey and are adding value.
How did you get your first customers?
It's interesting because SQL has been through so many changes. Our very, very, very first customer actually happened before the pandemic. Our solution allowed for people not only to host webinars, but also live stream from in-person locations live on the platform. And we got into the startup community that way. But truly our very first customer for the solution that we're providing right now was Comcast NBC Universal. We went through their procurement process in a record time, probably the fastest time that any company has been through procurement. It was under a month. Passed security with flying colors as a pre-seed startup. Actually, we weren't even like fully VC funded. And we started working with the Comcast team very closely towards the end of 2020 to help them bring their workforce into a remote world and replicate that for their customers. And it's been an incredible partnership, and they became our investor eventually. And since then, obviously, we replicated that success, invested in our product a lot more, and onboarded so many more other customers like Comcast.
What a unique story. And how about the challenges that you faced? What lessons would you say you learned?
Well, there's challenges every day, right? As a founder, every day you have a different challenge. But I am one of those people that loves a puzzle. I see every challenge as a puzzle that I have to complete and I have to figure out. Instead of being annoyed by the challenge, I'm actually excited to figure it out. I think very early on for us, the challenge was how do we set up a motion that is repeatable and scalable? Because we could see customers that we would bring on board, but because of the nature of our solution, we could service so many different use cases. Like everybody needed some sort of like virtual connection. So many different companies. We could have gone POG and start a free trial and then completely go, against Zoom, or we could have gone fully enterprise because we're such a custom solution that can be branded in so many different ways. So it was this biggest challenge of finding our focus. A lot of investors and a lot of founders were telling us it's a good problem to have. Everybody wants your solution, but it was a problem because with a small team, if you don't focus on the right market, the right offering, the right value prop, at least to build your kind of popularity there, to bring the market, like actually capture market share in a specific focus market, then you can get so distracted by so many different types of customers. So I think that we spent probably a little bit too much time getting distracted and trying to do too many things at once. But once we found our focus, it was magic. Everything came into place. Our offering was right. Our pricing was right. We were able to hire the right team, which is also really important. Sometimes we would hire people and realize that that's not what we're going after anymore. So I think that that was our biggest challenge as we started. We validated that a product is valuable for so many different use cases. Is how do we build a strong offering for one use case and have a little bit of a monopoly on that?
What's the most successful go-to-market strategy that's working for you today?
Well, we are a webinar solution, so it would be crazy not to actually put our own solution to work. But it did work wonders for us. In the first year, last year actually, we built a $2.7 million pipeline from our Game Changer series. What we did, we invited CMOs. Our audience is marketers, so we invited CMOs to share best practices, challenges, and frameworks to build a company for growth. In this way, building a community of marketers as well as engaging with CMOs and getting their insights into our product and what to build. And that translated into the majority of our pipeline, and it required $0 to actually do it. Another thing that I would say with it, hosting a webinar series by itself is not the only thing that really pushed us through. Is also partnering with like-minded companies in the space. So we partner with companies like Chili Pepper and Matt Kudu and Sixth Sense and so many others to bring expertise into the hands of marketers, and in this way also to expand our network effect beyond SQL's network. So webinar series with partnerships were the most successful go-to-market strategy we've done so far.
Perfect answer. What would you say is the vision for the future of SQL?
Yeah, you know how Bill Gates said that he wants to put a computer in every home many years ago. We believe in that analogy that we want to put SQL in every website. We believe that every single company is building an audience through blog posts, through video and audio and written content, and it should all happen directly in their own websites. So our vision is that every single brand will be activated through SQL.
Amazing. How about your story? I love to know how you started your career. You mentioned a bit of your history at HP, but I'd love to know your life after college, let's say.
Well, I went to university in England, and I started as an intern at HP, and I would work a lot and took on a lot more projects than an intern would. So right before I finished university, they asked me to come back as a full-time, and I was leading UK and Ireland for the most profitable business in Europe, and then very quickly I was getting involved into European and global projects. I was the youngest, only female and only immigrant to join the UK&I management board at HP at the age of 23, which was a challenge for sure. I definitely was still very much learning, but what I learned very early on is how to partner with the business leaders and understand the business objectives, like how all my actions, projects, and time that I would put into work would impact revenue. Because we can all get very busy very quickly, but it's the impact of your work that matters the most and beyond the hours that you're putting in. So being able to partner with the other business leaders, the sales leaders, business development, allowed me to build a voice for myself for the management board. And then HP moved me to the US to take over the North America marketing team for one of the business units that we had. And that's when I had I was lucky to work with some of the most incredible marketers of all time. Some that are still my mentors, Suchi, who went to be the global marketing manager for AWS, and Vikran, who was the CMO at that time. So it was incredible to learn from these people how to apply marketing concepts at the global level, which created a perfect foundation for me to start SQL, because I had that insight on how to do it really well locally and kind of be scrappy and resourceful when I was in the UK, but how to really scale a company globally, and learning that how to build those systems when I moved on in the US. So it's been an interesting journey, and I think it's all about surrounding yourself with those people that you continue to learn from. And now I'm returning the favor and starting mentoring some other Techstars companies and founders. I think it's a beautiful way of staying part of the community.
I love that. And after all this experience, you have an amazing journey. What would be your best piece of advice for a starting founder?
I would say two pieces of advice. One is do build a network. Build a network of founders, of executives in your target market, investors without necessarily kind of, even if you're not fundraising, build a really strong network and ask for advice and help as much as possible. So many people have done what you're doing, and you can get there so much faster just by asking some simple questions and being true and honest. I think that's really helped me a lot in figuring out strategies for the business and growing at the pace that we've been growing. And then number two, stay focused. I see many times founders that just get so spread out into so many things. They go to every single event. They go to every single startup event. They do all kinds of different things, all kinds of meetings and coffee chats, and meet with so many people. And while it's great to build a network, be more intentional with the network, and don't forget to put time in building your company, spending time with your customers, building your process, building your product, especially early on. Because as a first-time founder, especially like I was, and at the very beginning, it's so easy to get distracted because you're so excited about all the things that are happening in the startup world. And before you know it, you don't have enough time into the product, and you don't have enough time with your customers. Customers and product are number one.
Last question I have to you. What's your favorite software that you use? Your favorite SaaS, but apart from SQL.io? Or you can do a top three if you have too many options. I don't know.
Everyone loves Slack, right? So like aside from Slack, I would say that the one that I've actually two pieces of software that I started like really exploring. One is Apollo. I think Apollo.io, I think that they've built an incredible product, and they will revolutionize not only the product, but also their business model and go to market. And the team is fantastic. So I really love that platform. And then the second one is Copy.ai that I just got more acquainted with today. And it's a really nice platform for supercharging content and copywriting using AI.
Anything else that you want to share today on the podcast?
Like what?
If you want to encourage other marketers to use webinars or some where people can find you, or other piece of advice, something that you want to share.
Yeah. First is check out our Game Changers. A lot of insights packed from some of the brightest marketing minds and go-to-market leaders at SQL.io/Game Changers. Encourage everyone to think of how AI can make their lives better, how they can work faster, smarter, and apply in the day-to-day as well as in their work, because it's a really fascinating technology that can really improve the way we do things.
Thanks a lot, Oana. I appreciate you, and thank you for taking your time to join the podcast. I'm grateful.
Thanks for having me here.